Well, you join me having my first drive in a Volkswagen Eurovan, and yes, it is a V6 engine, which I will wake up a bit once it's warmed up a bit. And yes, it is left-hand drive. This is an American van. It lives in California, and I'm now driving it around Yorkshire. Belongs to a friend of mine called Pete, and let's try and get the right lane and try and stop at the roundabout. Brakes make some interesting noises, perhaps they're just a bit rusty. And this is strange because this is the first Volkswagen Transporter T4 that I've driven since I was a van driver in 1997. It's one of my happiest resignations was the day I gave up that job because of incompetent management. But I did quite enjoy driving the van itself. The T4 Transporter was Volkswagen's first front-engine van, and they didn't launch it until the early 90s. They stayed resolutely with rear engines in a van. Yeah, let's put an engine in the load bay. What could possibly go wrong? And they obviously did a lot of thinking about the T4 Transporter, and the result is a really excellent van. I mean, they're hugely popular with Scenesters and people who put Audi alloys and seats on them and in them. But there's no getting away from the fact that T4 is a really good van. They handle well. They are very practical. Sorry, there's an idiot in a Seat getting in my way. And yeah, they're a hugely enjoyable drive. They're very car-like, so you're sitting nice and high up like you are in a Range Rover. But it doesn't feel like a van. I mean, the ride is good. It's smooth. There's independent suspension all round. Good brakes, excellent range of engines. Back in the day, the ones I drove were a 1.9 turbo diesel and a 2.4 5-cylinder non-turbo diesel, which sounded glorious. So P907 NOE and P957 NOE were the two vans. I wonder if either of those are still around. Anyway, that's getting us away from this van. Belongs to my friend Pete. It was actually bought by his father, who lived in America. Sadly, he died a few years ago, and Pete bought the Volkswagen back as a bit of an heirloom, really. Some people might describe it as a bit of an odd choice, given he lives in England and it's the other side of the road here. But I applaud him, because after all, what's wrong with left-hand drive? It has to be said, this is an enjoyable drive so far. It's not ridiculously quick, but you can build your speed up quite nicely for what still feels like a van. Bearing in mind the other left-hand drive vehicle I'm used to is the mighty Dacia, and that does not accelerate in a mighty way. We're cruising along at 60 miles an hour, no bother at all. So 4-speed automatic gearbox with Volkswagen's VR6 engine in 24-valve form. So it's not short of power. I think it's just over 200 brake horse. And yeah, I guess there isn't that much weight. There's a rock and roll bed in the back, and you can have a couple of occasional seats, one of which has been removed. We'll have a nose around in a bit. I'm just going to have a drive, try and find somewhere nice. So with transporters, the T code is what it's all about, but it gets a bit confusing because the original was the Type 2, and that became known as the T2. And when they reworked that in the late 70s, confusion reigns, because to Europeans, the wedge-shaped front is a T3, but for some reason in the UK, they're known as T25s. Not quite sure what's going on there. And then the T4 came along, and I've no idea what generation they're on to now. I've driven a T5 once, but that was 11 years ago, so yeah, things have moved on. But yeah, I mean, this is still lovely. It steers really nicely. It's a bit austere in here, to be honest. There's digital climate control, which is quite nice, but there's not really a lot to play with. Just overtaking some mopeds. Quite easily, it turns out. Done 77,000 miles, which isn't a lot really, especially for something that was used in America for ferrying folk about. Right, I have no idea where we're going. Let's go and have a nose down here. It's not the soundtrack you expect from a van. And there's another reason T4s are so popular is because they have actual usable performance, whereas previous Volkswagens, especially the trendy splitties and the bay windows, have got no power at all for their great size. Yeah, at least they finally got it right with these and realised that people might actually want to go somewhere at speed, not have to slog up hills. Well, here we are in Yorkshire with the Volkswagen Eurovan. This is what it actually looks like on the outside, and I have to say I am a huge fan, thank you for that noise, of the T4 Transporter. I think it's a beautiful looking van. I prefer the van front. This is the longer Caravelle snout, which you need to fit the V6 engine. But yeah, considering this was Volkswagen's first attempt at a front-wheel drive van, I think they did an excellent job. I particularly like the rear lights. They're small and neat, and leave all the more space for useful tailgate. Oh. One for the tractor pervs. Everything is as noisy as possible, but yes, it's an American one. It lived in California. You see it's got an enormous tailgate and room for all sorts of space. Is that even more seating? Or is that just part of the bed? Don't really like poking around other people's stuff, but I quite like the press stud curtains. They're a good idea. A nice strap so you don't have to stretch up too far for the tailgate, which is huge. Oh, and doesn't shut properly. Yeah, German build quality. Right, I'll do. I'm just going to have a nose in the cabin because, as I said while I was driving along, it's quite a stylish place to sit, especially as we've got a little dancing girl. Look, she's having a boogie on the dashboard. She's loving it. Typical plain, unexciting Volkswagen dashboard. Cruise control on the column stalk there. And there's the wiper stalk as well. And we've got a Panasonic CD player, complete with digital climate control. And you can have it different sides, and I believe there is control in the rear as well. And here is, if I pan down, our automatic shifter, which has seen slightly better days, but is in reasonable order. And there's all sorts of controls on it, but frankly, I don't think you really need to be bothering with mucking about any other gears. It just seems quite sensible, which is nice. I don't like an automatic gearbox you have to work out. Let's go and have a look in the back. Oh no, let's go and have a look under the bonnet. That's probably what you want to see. I imagine you're very excited. Look at that, you got a lockable cubby. Oh, he hides his crisps in there. Oh, you're going to love this. This lovely narrow angle V6. Oh, apparently you're not going to love it. Oh, there it is. Look, can you see the engine? That doesn't really tell you anything, does it? Nice smell of hot oil here. I don't think the dipstick's meant to be that side of the case, but clearly Volkswagen don't want you to see the engine. That's a bit of a shame. Hydraulic struts though, that's always good. Right, let's go and have a nose in the back instead, because it is capacious. I mean, when it comes to rear legroom, you're going to have to go some to beat that, aren't you? Even when you've got one of the occasional seats fitted. So there's one chair there, and there's room for another one to go here, next to my messy bag, obligatory. And yeah, this is the rear seat. What does that handle do? Ah. I think that might be something to do with it becoming a bed, but I don't know how it works. I'm going to experiment. I think mostly what we've learnt is that I don't know how to move this seat. I think there's too much stuff in here. But yeah, look, I can stretch my legs right out. That's grand. I think this would be an ideal family vehicle. It's a shame I don't have a family, really. But then maybe I just need a practical vehicle. Oh, what's in here? Cup holder, obligatory. That was like a table of some sort. Oh yes, a table that can't pass the occasional chair. So very nearly a useful thing. You'll notice we've got the air conditioning vents, if I get this turning the right way, in the ceiling, so you don't get too hot. California sunshine is cruel stuff. I think we need more driving. Right, so now you can join me on a drive from a different angle, because some people have said they don't like my face. No idea what they're on about. Handbrake off, which makes the headlights come on. What a strange industrial site this is. I mean, all the buildings seem sunk into the ground, which is admirable, I guess. Must be good for insulating said buildings. So this is Wetherby in Yorkshire, and not somewhere I've really hung out before, if hanging out is the right word. That sounds like a trendy thing, but people who drive these vans might say, just hanging out. Oh, it is! Oh, can you see the gold beauty over there? That's an SE Plus with the alloy wheels and the rear spoiler. I was too much of a skinflint to go for those. I was hubbing up before my time, maybe. Oh, there's that blind spot again. Better test the wipers, I suppose. Oh yes, they seem to work. That's a pretty decent spread of wiperage. Don't mind saying so myself. No pantograph action, but you can't have everything, can you? Right, I'm just going to get out of this gully. We shall do a 0 to 60 test. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Ooh, that's 60. The owner did tell me to do that, but probably not in that spot. That got a bit uphill. That was a bit unfair on the bus. And then I just felt like I was accelerating towards the unknown. But yeah, I think it's fair to say that, well, you're not going to leave a Ferrari for dead. There's plenty of usable everyday power here. The downside is apparently 15 to 18 to the gallon, which most people consider excessive. That's even worse than my Rover. But it's really punchy in the mid-range, so we're doing about 2,500 revs, and if I put my foot down, well, it's just kicked down, but it doesn't always kick down, it just uses the torque, and I like that. If you want a lazy American vibe, that is kind of what you're after. So I think we can conclude that I like the Volkswagen Transporter V6 in American form very much. Oh, I recall the things I used to get up to when I was a van driver. It just terrifies me, but I can confirm they go very, very well around corners if you have absolutely no regard for your own safety, which I didn't because I was about 20. No, I wasn't. I was 19. I was a teenager. Who thought letting me loose in a van with a turbocharger was a good idea? Maybe they didn't, because they tried to discourage me by paying me £6,400 a year. Entertainingly brisk. Anyway, I'd better take this back and get on my way, because this is one of many road tests I'm doing over the next few days. So thank you very much for watching. If you have been, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to visit our store, check out details of that at hubnut.org, and I shall see you again in a future video. Farewell. I'm watching that Audi just to make sure he isn't trying to crash into me.